Hello, welcome to the Monday Night Show here on Borough Fan TV. Joined tonight again by Guesty and AJT. Welcome to the show, lads.
Good evening, everyone.
First international break's arrived. Borough's still undefeated following Friday night's draw at Leeds, while we've still continued our progress in the Carabao Cup after a side containing many young players defeated Rochdale 2-1. The loan window's finally closed last week. More twists and turns involving the likes of Braithwaite, Adoma and others. So get in touch with us, Borough fans. Are you happy with the squad that Tony Pulis has got at his disposal for the next 4 months? Do you think it's going to be good enough to maintain a promotion charge? Or do you think there was some places where maybe we've fallen a little bit short? As I say, lads, welcome to the show.
Good evening, James.
Hope you're both well. Let's start with a look back at last Friday's game at Ellen Road. 5 consecutive clean sheets now, Guesty.
Yeah.
And I know we were talking before we came on air tonight. Rarely have we looked so comfortable in a game at Leeds before.
Yeah, it was... people said Pulis set up for a draw, but actually sat there watching it. It didn't look like we were trying to defend for 90 minutes or to protect what we had, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think both teams' defences were king that night.
Yeah.
You know, Cooper, I believe he's in the Leeds fans' favourite, but for me he stood out for Leeds.
Yeah.
Assombalonga, give him a hell of a night. Assombalonga was brilliant,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? But like you say, clean sheet, Randolph, 5 clean sheets. I'm seeing Paul's out now for Player of the Month for Randolph.
Yeah.
And like you say, Pulis has gone August. Our September fixture fell into August. So we've gone 8 games in August, unbeaten.
Yeah.
So Pulis has to win Manager of the Month.
Yeah,
I know it's cursed, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, I wouldn't be upset if he didn't get it, mate.
Yeah,
But I know what you're saying. I mean, for the run that we've gone on since the start of the season, it's been immense. I know Leeds, AJ, mate, irrespective of what you might think of them or what any of us think of them, it is an intimidating place to go, and it's no mean achievement to shut them out, like Guessy's just said there. No other side's done it in the league this season, so it was a good achievement.
Scoring, haven't they? They've been averaging 2 goals a game, so...
I think what's great as a Borough fan, what's great in our team is we're making teams look average, in my opinion. And that might be a boast or whatever, but I look at the likes of going off top a little bit, Bristol City, smashing Blackburn 4-1, but against us they couldn't get a look in. Yeah. And it isn't just them, you know, it's different. Look at Sheffield United, beat Aston Villa 4-1.
You could see signs in that Bristol City game, that Bristol City were a good football team.
You could.
And like you say, that day we were absolutely brilliant in defence. And like you say, these teams now are winning 4-1s. Yeah. You know, Bristol, Sheffield.
Absolutely.
So like you say, we could be making
we're
these
just very
teams
strong.
look average.
I think our defence is just... It's just like you can't break it down. You can't. Teams try and go through the middle of it. Again, Leeds, you try and see them go through the middle. It isn't going to happen because every single time you try it, the ball going back to Randolph every single time. Yeah. Down the wings, okay, at times you might have a bit of luck past Friend and Sean, but only now and then. It doesn't happen frequently. And I think at the minute you're looking at us, and I'm almost getting to the point now, and I don't think I'm getting too ahead of myself when I say it, but I don't think we have to fear. I don't think we have to go fear into games. I think we can hold confidence in the fact that we're still, a clean sheet here, clean sheet there, and we're tight here, we're tight there. And I think that's just important for the season, especially in the Championship. Yeah. It's a rock hard league, but if you're getting a little bit of confidence ahead of everybody else, you're not really falling off there, are you?
Whatever Pulis is saying to him, Dale Fry, last season he got dropped because he dropped a few clangers. That was with Gary Monk. But this season he's came into a back three centre halves, and now when he's coming out with the ball, he's going deep into the opposing half with the ball, and he's winning free kicks. Where last season he was moving forward with the ball and then thinking, oh God, I've come too far here, and he'd stop and pass it backwards. Where on Friday night the kid just kept going, and like you say, he has got the ability to do that, and it's a good string to your bow. And now he's starting to use it, you know what I mean?
I think you picked up on a good point there, AJ, about the fact that when we've played these other teams early in the season, people have said, you haven't played anybody yet. Yeah. And yet we've played Sheffield United, beat them 3-0, we've gone to Bristol City, beat them 2-0, and then you look at the results that they've picked up now. Yeah. I think when I looked at it yesterday, out of the top 6, obviously we're in there, so 5 of the top 6, we've played 3 of them. Yeah. And not conceded a goal against them. So if you can do that against those teams, it's alright teams having big reputations like your Aston Villas and other teams like that, and people saying, oh well, wait till you play Aston Villa or wait till you play. But we've come up against some good teams already this season and got results.
Yeah. But doesn't it feel nice now, all them players who've turned us down to go to Villa?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. I must admit, that was a nice little scoreline to get that on Saturday when we saw the goals scored.
I backed Villa to win, so I was fuming.
I think he did a few people's coupons in that on Saturday, mate.
But a big time.
But back to Friday night, the game at Leeds. Those type of displays, they don't just happen by accident. No. And I think it's a result of a lot of careful planning by Tony Pulis and the coaching staff. And it's hours that they put in on the training pitches, isn't it, to get those sort of performances where everybody knows the shape, your formation, the structure, and what their roles are.
I believe he's very repetitive on the training field.
Yeah.
And it's, bang, this is what you do. You don't move away from what you're doing.
Yeah.
And like you say, it's shown now.
Definitely.
That it's so structured. But I can't turn around now and sit here and say Tony Pulis' football is what I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be boring. There's been a stat out today which I'm not big on. So many teams, I can't remember the name of the teams who've played the long ball over 400 times.
Who's played the most long balls this season in the division?
I think there's only 3 teams who haven't played over 400 long balls, and we're one of them.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like Pulis explained last week, we play pretty much the same as Leeds do, but because he's a foreign coach, his way of playing is perceived different to what Tony Pulis is. They're just what directors what we are. They like to get the ball forward fast where we do. So there's no difference really. No. Maybe the ball comes off the floor a bit more when we're going forward. Yeah. But
he came out with a great line in his press conference before the Leeds game last week where he said, "In this country, perception is everything." And that's it. And Tony Pulis, like him, loathe him, whatever, unfortunately he's always going to be lumped with this tag now of long ball merchant. Everything from set pieces, dull football, playing for 1-0s off set pieces. And to be honest, we've had him now as manager nearly 9 months. It's not really been the case, has it?
I've really enjoyed it, I'll be honest, When he came in, don't get me wrong, when he came in, it wasn't his team, he didn't, it's all I could do. But since the start of the season, and listen, in pre-season, I'll hold my hands up when I said in an interview I was freaking out, especially Rochdale away. The one where I was thinking, what's going wrong? But I couldn't stand League 3-1 at half time. Everyone was in the outside concourse. It was never a concourse. Everyone's fuming there
in the street.
And, and that was what me to having a bottle of cider at half time, which I never do because I was that sick. But we look at this season and it's just exciting. And I wouldn't say the performances have been boring. I wouldn't say they've been dull. I think even at home, the one thing I always mention is almost like our pressing. Especially to their back line, say if one of their back lines got the ball. Even at Leeds, Johnny Howson was pressing and pressing.
One goes, you all go.
That's it. It's like everyone's pulling the weight. And I think I look at like Son Belong on Friday night. The shift he did on Friday night compared to what he did up front by himself last season at times, and there's a massive difference in there. His work rate, his effort to want to get the ball back, and and I just think everyone's pulling the weight. Everybody wants to play for the badge, and that's the most important thing. Everybody wants to do well.
No, it's absolutely brilliant. And like you say, it's not where you go at the match now to think, no, like you say, Karanka was good for the club, he got us up, but you don't have that feeling now where you think, are you in the Premier League?
And dreading games, weren't you?
Dreading games last season because you didn't know which borough was going to turn up. Like on the Pulis thing, the type you can see Preston, I think, was his first game in charge last season, and when we 2-0 down at half time.
2-1 down at half time, we got back.
You've got to imagine what he was saying in that dressing room at half time because, like you say, we got a performance that after, the second half of that game.
Absolutely.
To what we're getting now every game. And the transformation of Clayton, obviously. That's always been there, but I think he's had
he's brought a player out with him now, and he's class Clayton.
I think as Borough fans, we don't ask for a lot. We don't demand that it's like free-flowing football, like something you've never seen out of this world every week. What we want is like full commitment. That's all we ask for.
We're not Juventus, we're not AC Milan. We don't want it sideways, backwards, patient build-up. You want the ball in the opposing half as quick as possible.
Commitment and passion, and I think we're getting that at the minute, aren't we?
Absolutely.
And like I say, the other night, you touched on a Son Belonga there in his performance. I think across the field, you just saw players that are more or less putting the team above themselves. It's not about any glory they get. They're all playing for the badge. They're all playing for the team. I mean, the distance to cover, the tackles they're putting in. Clayton, like you said, absolutely tireless again, wasn't he? And Fry, I mean, it was almost like watching Gary Pallister 30 years ago when he was playing, or like Alan Hansen, how we brought the ball out of defence.
Yeah,
and that's a young kid, isn't it?
Do you feel this has come about since we've got rid of some influences in the dressing room that's moved out during the transfer window? Do you know what I mean?
Possibly.
There's players gone out like Gibson, Traore, Bamford, you know, and you think obviously the dynamic has changed in the changing room, but them players influencing the changing room, things might have changed. Like you say, they're all seen as one at the moment. I'm not saying there was any trouble causes. I'm just saying that
I think the team
egos maybe
that's a word.
Egos, yeah.
I think the team has become a team because of maybe that some of the players that have left. And like I say, Traore, I will never knock what he did for the club because last season he was fantastic. I'm not trying to make out it's a good thing that he's left.
No.
But I think in terms of the team and how we set up, it maybe has helped us a little bit in moving on because
it's shocking.
Yeah.
Big time.
We have become more of a team rather than focusing on one man trying to do everything, which is what we were last season, I think, weren't we?
Absolutely.
We became over reliant on Traore.
It got annoying in the end, I'll be honest. In the end, I was fed up with it all. It was get the ball, give it to Traore, and if he fails
I'd never get fed up with seeing him running with the ball.
But it was just, for me, amazing. Our game plan was, you knew what it was every game. If Traore was playing,
a bit like a school team where you give the ball,
that was it. Whereas now you're seeing the likes of Ryan Shotton, as you said there. Ryan Shotton's allowed to get up and down more.
Shot it in the ear.
Yeah, exactly. But you know, we're starting to see the player that these players actually are in everyone.
I never thought Ryan Shotton was that type of player.
I never.
He's absolutely unbelievable.
Yeah, he's certainly good enough to do the job that he's doing in the Championship.
Like you say, centre half, and he's playing at full back.
And he's part of that defence that's kept 5 clean sheets in a row.
Which is good. Pulis is, like you say, we don't have much pace up front, but he's got them full backs pushed right on, and it's compensating for the lack of pace, and it's good. We're still getting forward. We're still getting forward with pace, but obviously the ball's moving a lot more than what the player is.
I think you mentioned this earlier on as well, lads, about how frustrated Leeds became on Friday night because they couldn't break us down. Was it then they started to get the ball forward really quickly and they didn't do what they'd maybe done in their earlier games, but they wanted to lump it forward, which helped us out again, didn't it?
That's how he did it. I think, touching the first half as well, this hasn't just been Leeds, but to keep it relevant on Leeds, every single time they try to go through the middle, it was either getting stopped by Flint, or if I had a great game off Flint, nothing was getting past him.
Yeah.
And in the end, he was trying to balls over the top, and he was just, our back three just stand still, and the ball goes top the red, and everyone just regroup again. And unless you went down the wings, a couple of times, Harrison had a bit of luck, I thought, in the first half against Friend.
Yeah.
And there was times, I think there was only one time, and I counted, the ball went over the top towards Shotton and he wasn't on his man. I think it was only one time, and after that, then that was it. Then you know what I mean. You weren't getting through, and so I mean, even though it's 5 at the back and it might look negative on paper, and the first time I seen it, I said to you, I thought it was a negative formation against West Brom. I think it was.
Yeah.
But then you see how much it works.
Yeah.
And it almost lets everyone else in front of the back five just play however you want to play.
Yeah.
And that's it. Adam Clayton, Johnny House, and them two. That partnership reminds me of when it was Ledbetter and Clayton for the playoff. Going through them playoff stages.
Yeah.
Obviously to get to the final. Them two there were the they were the two who
they were the heartbeat of the team, weren't they?
And right now I'd say that's how Clayton and Howson have got that partnership's unreal. It's you can't take one of them out and have to replace with somebody else.
How did you feel about the criticism that Ayala's been getting off the Leeds fans because dirty Ayala,
jealousy.
He should be sent off.
Jealousy.
He's Spanish, and it's always been brought up, and and what goes on in penalty boxes now in every game you see. Obviously, it hasn't been happening at Ellen Road for a while, or it can't have been happening, but. I was watching, I can't remember which defender it was, had the Sombalong around the neck and thrown to the floor,
Ayala.
Ayala's Ayala, he's a loose cannon. And
do you know what?
He was
he's class, man, he's class. He's class.
I didn't really have any complaints about the referee the night. I read some of the papers the next day and they were slating him, saying, he missed this in the penalty areas. In a way, because he didn't give anything either way, I thought he's just letting them get on with it. And do you know what? It was that sort of game on Friday night. It was just like, not anything goes, but he was consistent in that he didn't give it in that box, he's not going to give it in the other box, and I can live with that more than him saying giving him at one end and not the other end. Like you say, that's the worry, with all the fans behind him, he would give one to Leeds, but he never, so I didn't have a problem with the referee, and like you say, there was stuff that went on there, which, imagine if it was the World Cup with VAR, they'd have had a field day with that on Friday night. He'd have
been watching the telly more than the people at home,
well, that's it, but he let the game go on, and I didn't have a problem with it, and I think it was interesting to see as well, a lot of ex-pros the next day I saw on Football Focus, Kevin Kilban was talking about, and I think Dan Walker, who presented the show, was trying to say, we won't talk too much about that game last night, Leeds Middlesbrough finished 0-0. And Kevin Kilban went, I actually enjoyed that game.
Yeah.
And a lot of people I've spoken to have also said, yeah, I really enjoyed that game.
It wasn't a dull 0-0 draw.
No, it wasn't, no.
You've had, like, Adrian Durham coming down here tonight. You know, he said exactly the same. The least said about Friday's game, the better. But for a 0-0 draw, yeah, both teams cancelled each other out. Yeah. But it was entertaining. It was blood and thunder.
Yeah.
And like you say, fair play to them. Ellen Road, you can't knock the Leeds fans' passion. It's
good atmosphere.
It's a cauldron. It's a brilliant atmosphere. But there was over 2,000 Borough fans there, and the noise was deafening from both sets of fans. Yeah. And it just creates, and it's under the lights. Yeah. And it just creates, you know, again, a brilliant atmosphere.
Like you say, fair play to the Leeds fans. They do use that to their advantage.
Yeah,
and that's like a proper home ground stadium there where you do what you can to help your team in a match, and I think they do that for their team, don't they?
Definitely.
And they did it on Friday, so fair play to them. And I mean, I think at the end of the game, AJ, there was almost like during the week and the build-up of the game, there was a lot of respect between the two different managers, between Pulis and Bielsa. Yeah. And I think that was more or less mirrored at the end of the game by the players and the fans. It was almost like, can't grumble with that result. No, it's a fair result, and we'll take a point.
Talking to the fans before and after the game, you had that mutual respect where they were as worried of us as what we were of them. Yeah. So they were thinking we've made a great start. We're thinking they've made a great start. Yeah. And like you say, I think the majority of Leeds fans were happy with the draw as well.
After the game, believe it or not. A lot of them wrote into me and said, AJT, do you know what it is, we donate as much as we do, because I couldn't be, if you like, I couldn't have bantered them on different things after the game. Yeah. I had to be honest. So inside one of my videos, I just said, look, inside my review, I said, look, man, I said, Leeds were what they were, and I see a lot of them afterwards saying, do you know, it is fair play, because, you know, it's almost like, you know, these fans wouldn't give it to us, we can give it to them. It was that mutual respect to talk about. It was, and even after the game, when Clayton got an interview with Cooper, and they both said, do you know what it was a fair game, and, you know, both of them said, I reckon Borough and Leeds will be up there, and I said the same thing. I reckon come the end of the season, then, you know, Borough and Leeds equaled each other out, but they are the two best footballing teams in the league at the minute.
At the moment, they are,
Another point on Friday night, that's the most I've seen him off that bucket.
I'm just waiting for someone to walk behind and kick that, you know. Just like he's just propped there.
Yeah, that's the most I've seen him off. I kind of brought his bucket tonight. He's been stood up there most of the time.
But it was an interesting clash between two teams who've got contrasting styles, but I think it ended up working out to be a good game of football, and I think most people probably would have enjoyed that game. It was like full blood and thunder, exciting. It was almost like a throwback game, wasn't it? Like a game where a lot of tackles were flying in and it wasn't getting stop-started.
People said, you know, we could have won it if Pulis had brought Braithwaite on or Hugo, you know what I mean? But bringing a player on that late, it doesn't.
Why would you want to upset things? You might upset things, yeah. It
doesn't change a game that often, you know. So we've got a point. We've got a point more than what we got from Ellen Road last season. Yeah. So,
did your heart go into your mouth a little bit when you saw Patrick Bamford come on with 4 minutes to go and injury time? You think, oh God, what's going to happen here?
I won't say what I was doing.
I thought, why is he giving that long?
When Patrick Bamford's on a touchline ready to come on, I won't say the hand signals I used or the verbal language that come out of my mouth, because you know, one of them things. But Patrick Bamford, listen man, I don't like the guy, so it is what it is.
Well, there we go. We'll leave it at that. I mean, that's Friday night, Leeds. I mean, at the start of the season, when you looked at our fixtures up until the international break, I know one or two people said, oh, you haven't played anyone this, that, and the other, but I always thought it was a tough start of the season we had. Yeah. Especially when you look at the away games, Millwall, Bristol City, Leeds, and yet we're undefeated. We're second in the table, only on goal difference. Could it have gone any better, really?
I don't think so. I think, you know, nobody expected us to have this many points in that many games and be where we are in the league. Now, I, for one, certainly didn't. When I look at the fixtures, I expected it to be harder than what it was, I'll be honest. You know, when you see Millwall away first game of the season, you do think to yourself, oh, Howie, man, like, that's a hard place to go. We all said it on the way there. And then, you know, you come out of it now and you think, well, that wasn't as hard as what everyone thought. It wasn't too bad, was it?
You went to Millwall on the back of last season, who were really difficult to beat at home. You know what I mean? They have a brilliant record down at the Den. And from the situation that we were in, which we've discussed on many a times, to come out of there with a point. And
I don't know how we did it, man.
Since the first half, the massive plus is from the first half against Millwall, in the league, we haven't conceded a goal.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's some achievement in any league. Five games without conceding in the league. You know, absolute. And like you said, we've been up against Bristol City, we've been up against Sheffield United,
Leeds,
and Leeds who've been free scoring. So
not conceded a goal against anyone.
And what do they say? They always build from the back. And, you know, Pulis has sorted it out.
Best start.
Touch wood.
Best start of season in 24 years.
Yeah.
What do you put it down to, lads?
Effort, commitment.
You've got to put it down to Pulis.
Management.
Work ethic.
Tactics.
His tactics, everything. Everything he seems to have done has worked for him, like the change of formation against West Brom. And everything's just worked.
Just a whole team effort. It seems as though they're all singing from the same hymn sheet.
He's here to do the business, isn't he? You know what I mean? He hasn't come here for holidays, isn't he? To mess about and wait a couple of years to get us back to the top. He's here to literally look, this is the season we're going to go up. I'm going to try my hardest to get us up, and he means business.
These are professional footballers. They're professional athletes, and you do, like you say, they get hammered every week. They get hammered on our show every week when they haven't performed. You know what I mean? Because people know, they've seen the level of their performances, and when you see performances going in from Clayton, Friend, who's been here for a long time, down and they were getting criticised, you know what I mean? And for Pulis to come in and to get the level of commitment out of them again now, do you know what I mean? It's unbelievable. It can only be down to Pulis. The commitment he's getting from these players, it's unbelievable. It's fantastic to watch.
Well, it's been a great start of the season, lads. I think we all agree on that. It's been fantastic. And long may it continue.
Oh, definitely.
Obviously, at the back end of last week, we had the final closure of the loan window. First of all, I know we've mentioned his name once or twice and pass it tonight. Martin Braithwaite. What do you make of that whole carry-on fiasco?
It was one of them where I think everyone thought he would go. That's how, right? Everybody. We didn't expect him to come out before the window, and then he got a few and said, "Look, I basically went off." He stayed. You know, we've seen a picture of him playing mini golf and something earlier, so he must be happy again. But you know, I don't think that's the right way to go about things. If you want to go, fair play, but don't do it a day before the loan window ends and put everyone into turmoil into your side. That's not what we're into. But listen, he's here to stay till January. And before he went to go see Pulis, we all said, you know, he was like watching a new signing. He's been unbelievable. But again, it proves that he probably was just playing for the move.
A lot of people said that.
You know, he probably was. If he starts against Norwich in a couple of weeks' time, is he going to be the same Martin Braithwaite that we've watched up until the loan window shut?
This is the big question now, isn't it, Tony? I mean, is he going to go down the same route as Gaston Ramirez a couple of years ago, or are we going to get the player back that we had before this deadline at the start of the season?
Yeah, going back to last season, he started similar to how he has this season, where he was the main man, you know, like, and then obviously something must have upset him. I think it was around the time when Monk didn't know his best team, and he was in and he was out, and then he wanted to be in the World Cup squad. He had his head turned and he left on loan. But to come back, like, I don't know whether the lad's married or whether he has kids and whether they live on Teesside. There's things like that to take into consideration. But to do it the day before the window shuts, to do it 3 or 4 days after he'd been in the car park, inviting all the fans to sit in his car, make videos and things like that when we beat West Brom, and he does look happy. I can't see him leaving. Then a couple of days later, he's knocked on Pulis's door wanting to leave. So
it's a funny one now these days, isn't it, with footballs? Because I think it's different and certainly in the case of Braithwaite, he's not a lad like us from Middlesbrough, where the club obviously means a hell of a lot to us. I'm not saying it doesn't mean anything to some lads that don't come from the area, but if you're a Middlesbrough lad and you play for Middlesbrough, it means the world to you. And he's come from another country. And it is a job. He's a professional footballer. It's his job, and he's maybe thinking, I'm better off going to Spain, playing in La Liga. I'm going to protect my international place. But like you said there, there's maybe there's a way of coming out and doing things. And maybe the day before the transfer window, coming to the manager and saying, look, I want to be off.
He could have come out as soon as the transfer window opened for good, back in June or July, whenever it opens, and said, look, I don't want to be here. Got it out of the way nicely, well before any pre-season games kicked off, and said, look, I want away. I'm just letting everybody know. And it would have been a bit better for him than to come out when he did.
It's like fans saying, look, if he doesn't want to be here, just let him go, or let him rot in the reserves, let him play with the kids. But if he, like on Friday, if he's at our club, let's use him. Let's not do a Ramirez where
That's
he
the
gets
worst thing to do
ostracised
now.
and he's kicked out. You know,
Yeah.
the fans don't want him in the team. If he's here at this club, let's use him.
We've got
Yeah.
and as
He's an
fans, we've
asset.
got to
He's a
support him
talent,
now, haven't we?
he's a talent.
He's the same Martin Braithwaite everybody wanted in the team against Leeds.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah, let's use him. Let's not leave him on the bench.
Yeah.
Let's get the best out of him.
I've seen things of him.
And if he gives his all till January or next summer, you know, we'll clap him.
Well, yeah,
we'll, you know,
we might be another 30 odd points better off then. Yeah.
What kind of spins my head with him is, you know, Tony Pulis has told us that he wanted to, obviously that he wanted to go. But then I'm seeing messages from him, sending them to people that I know, I want to know names, saying, don't believe everything you see in the media, don't believe this, don't believe that. I'm thinking, well, who's to believe then? Is it Pulis to believe, or is it him messaging people saying, listen...
But he won't be on his own social media, mate. There'll be someone right.
Well, yeah, of course, but, you know, it's one of them, innit?
Yeah. So...
But that's...
He's upset a few fans with his actions,
Yeah, of course.
whether it's true or not, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I hope that wasn't Martin Braithwaite there who just came in and just said,
It's
we're not
just
going to
came-
bother you anymore. That's right. We want you to stay now. Put a shift in for us for the rest of this season, this little January. In terms of who's come in, we've got Steve McQueen. He's made a great escape from Southampton.
Yeah.
Got George Savile from Millwall and Danny Bart from Wolves, centre half. Happy with those incomings, lads?
The only thing is are they better than anyone that's in our Fest team at the moment? I understand Danny Bart was the club captain at Wolves, but centre half.
Yeah.
Is he going to take Dale's place? Is he got?
You can't move anyone out of the defence.
I think at the minute, it'd be harsh to drop anyone. I think obviously the way we're playing now, having three centre halves, so you won't cover on it because you're going to pick up suspensions.
That is the proper 11 we've got.
Like you say, when you look at fixtures and they start coming thick and fast, like Tuesday, Saturday, they aren't machines. You know what I mean? We sit here and we think, Tuesday night, it's what's up with them? It's you haven't got a game till Saturday. You can't be tired on a Saturday. It's a lot to do with your mentality. And, you know what I mean? How quick you can recover. You know, you do go stale and you start to become monotonous and you get devoid of ideas. Do you know what I mean? And I think that's what the whole idea behind it is, to have this large squad and that. Well, it's not a big squad we've got, but you know what I mean, to bring these type of players in. But I don't think any of them are better than what we've got.
I know Pulis has sort of bigged up George Savile a bit, hasn't he? Because he said, I saw him when he played at Chelsea in the juniors there, and then he's gone away, he's become a man, and he knows what he has to do.
I love him, mate.
I think he is good as well.
Massive. When we seen him, first time we seen him at Millwall away, and he ran the show in their midfield along with that Jed Wallace, and we couldn't bring in Jed Wallace again to kind of like his link-up play with George Savile. But when we brought in Savile, first of all, I thought that's a name that he can't get in the back of your body shirt now, so that's gone down the drain. But a player of his talent, the fact that we've brought him in on loan with a chance of buying him for what is it, 5 to 7 million?
Well, 7 million, which Millwall are spinning now, has been a good deal for them, but I think they'll be upset to lose a player like him.
Keith Harris. I know that's him with a great duck. Right, Keith Harris, the Millwall manager with Orville, he's been in the press today saying Middlesbrough have paid absolutely millions and millions of pounds for Savile. We couldn't refuse this offer. You know what I mean? But he scored 10 goals last season from midfield.
Yeah.
So that you know.
He's a playmaker. He's a creative player.
Is he better than Johnny Howson though?
No.
Like say, I'd like to see Howson score more goals.
I would, yeah.
You know,
we've seen him the one against Preston, but we know he can score.
Yeah.
So the one against Accrington Stanley from the edge of the box, we know he can hit him.
Yeah, but like you say, that's a good to see a midfielder score.
I just think it's competition for place, isn't it? And like you've said there, over the season you're going to need a decent squad.
Because Howson and Clayton can't keep putting
at the rate they're putting it in at the minute. I mean, Clayton, you've seen him do it before, and he can put games in like that week after week, but it does take its toll.
Yeah.
And obviously he picks up bookings. I think he got booked again on Friday. And you know what? Sometimes he gets a booking on reputation. I think when you look at some of the tackles that went in that game on Friday that went unpunished, Clayton just has to sometimes look at an opposition player and the referee's cards out straight away. But
he used to get a card for that stupid girly bun on the top of his head.
But so we brought those lads in, and like I say, I think the one bugbear of absolutely everybody was that we didn't get in the wide players and the attacking players that maybe Pulis was wanting to bring in. That was a big miss, wasn't it? AJ.
Well, I've read this McQueen do?
Sam Quinn, yeah, he can go forward.
Is he a left back? Is he left midfield?
He
or is he left wing?
Yeah, he can do all of them.
Because on his portfolio, he can do all three. You know what I mean? So.
A few deals brought down, didn't it, Albert Dunn? I don't know quite what happened. I heard he came to Teesside. Deals, was that right? Deal brought down or something? Personal terms or something?
Yeah.
Some of the things
have been mentioned that he was offered the same terms as he's currently on at Aston Villa, and it didn't work out for whatever reason. And it's a shame because I'd have been quite happily taken Albert back.
Like you say, Albert Adoma, I think his brother's knocked things up for him at Villa as well now, hasn't he? By jumping in with both feet on Steve Bruce. Yeah. You know, he's saying he saved your job last season. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, that's strange life. Must be like you say, you could be sat at work tomorrow and someone knocking on the door saying, like, James, you've been transferred.
You know, it can happen that quickly.
Miles and Redcar, are you happy to go there?
It's a strange world.
Be a size
football world, do you know what I mean? It's mental.
But that's it, and it is, like you say, as a professional footballer, it can be 1 minute you think you're going somewhere, then the next minute, actually, you're back at a club where you maybe feel you're sort of down the pecking order.
Jordan Rhodes, didn't you remember when he was up here and then he got sent back to Blackburn and he was back up here,
Yeah, it's an unsettling time, and at the end of the day, these lads, yes, they're professional footballers, but as you touched on earlier, Guesty, they've got families and stuff like that, and they might have to uproot from one end of the country to the other. Yeah. Is it a move that the family are happy doing and stuff like that? So there's a lot of things to take into consideration, but I think as a football fan, you just want to see these players or better players come into your club, don't you? That's all you think about.
You have no feelings about their background or what upheaval they're going through, the footballers. Yeah. You know what I mean? But like you say, we've got what we've got now.
And that's it, and this is it now for the next 4 months, isn't it? And
everyone's the same.
Yeah.
You know.
Do you think then the squad that we've got at the moment that can keep us at least in the top 6 or even challenging the top 2?
100% it can, I think.
You're confident, aren't you, mate?
I am confident, but I think the confidence just comes from the team, the way we're playing, and everyone's, you know, I don't see how no one can say, oh, that's it, now we're confident. I'm 100% confident, and, you know, after that Leeds game, I thought, do you know what it is? How can you not be? You know what I mean? The way we're playing, the mentality we've got, you know what I mean? The confidence we're playing with. If we can carry that on now after obviously going to Norwich, see if we can beat Norwich and carry the momentum and everything else. Yeah. You can only take confidence from there. Listen, in January, if you need to bring in recruits, do it there and then, but don't try and upset the balance of the team by bringing in other players and whatnot.
That's the big game now, September, Norwich.
Yeah, massive.
You know, see how the lads come back. And like you say, at the start, that momentum again. If we can get a win or a point. It keeps it, and a clean sheet. Yeah. You know, it might get labelled boring if we go to another 0-0, but you know, it keeps our momentum going and it keeps us at the top of the league.
I know you mentioned earlier on, Guesty, about Norwich. It is, I know we'll talk more about it next week as a preview, but it's a place where we traditionally do find it difficult. I know we won there the playoff season before we lost them in the final. Yeah. But traditionally, we don't get a great deal down there.
Last season, it was international break, wasn't it? Didn't we go to their place and get beat 1-0?
I'm not sure. It was a game where Gusted got sent off.
It was actually international break. I'm sure it was, wasn't it?
Was it 2-1?
We got lost 1-0. We lost 1-0 in both games. We lost 1-0 at home to them as well last year.
Because they scored early doors and Gusted got sent off.
Madison scored, didn't he? Volley from the edge of the box.
And then we stuck try all the way through the middle and it just
didn't work out, did it? It didn't work out.
And then I don't know.
It's just a bad place.
Yeah. And they're struggling, but like you say, you can't read too much into the table in a way after 5-6 games.
Well, they're sat with 5 points.
5 points, but I think they're probably a better team than that, and it won't be an easy game down there. It'll be another tough one.
Saying that they've lost Maddison, haven't they? They've lost their mainstay, so
he was a big player for them, wasn't he? Last season, wasn't he? Yeah. So obviously,
I can't see any of them players squad fearing anyone at the moment. You know what I mean? We've got the lads, the young ones going away on international duty. You know what I mean? They're all going to come back buzzing. You know, you just hope none of them get the red turned while they're away.
Well, that's it, because there'll be talk going round the table about what are you getting at this club and what am I getting and things like that, and that's always a worry. But I think it's only good for a club like ours, where you've got so many players away on international duty, the younger lads. Get some more experience.
About the younger lads that against Rochdale.
Talk about that game.
That Wood is unbelievable. I mean, for a kid,
16 years old,
absolutely fantastic.
And especially when you think in that game, what he was up against was Calvin Andrew.
Ian Henderson.
Beast of a fella up front. I mean, some big lads up there, and especially the last 20 minutes, what they were up against. and we'd taken off the experienced players that we'd started with.
At half time as well.
Yeah.
And what was the back three in the second half? It was non-existent. It was Mimotovic, who was gone out, Spence, and
Wood, yeah.
I spoke to a few of my Rochdale mates, believe it or not. I do know a fair few, and they were saying they found it easy as fans to watch their team after Ayala went off. They said because that was a big worry in the first half. They said, but after that, they said that they should have maybe come away with the win that night.
Well, they could have done. I mean, we went 2-0 up after Hugill scored, and it was nice to see him get his first goal, and it was a great header, wasn't it?
I've said for years and years, we can produce full-backs, we can produce centre-halves. Why can't we get a Teesside number 9?
Yeah.
Why can't we get someone from Teesside who's going to score 20 goals a season? It'd be a god.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And in Hugill, hopefully he's the man.
Oh yeah.
Because
Championship proven, isn't he?
He's so strong, and the goal he scored the other night was really
Great
good.
header.
I don't know, maybe flipping back a little bit to the Leeds game here, were you surprised that he didn't start on Friday? I had a little bit of a thought that he might start with Hugill on Friday night at Leeds, but he didn't. Yeah.
I thought maybe he would have brought him on, maybe
He tried to get him on, didn't he, for about the last 5 minutes, and he couldn't get him on, But
Hugill, like you say, the future at that club, some of them players, like you say, going up against that big guy, your mate from Rochdale,
Andrews,
him as well,
yeah,
unbelievable.
Yeah,
you know,
it bodes well for them that they've gone up against seasoned pros.
Yeah.
They've come out with a win. They've a proper battle. I mean, you can say what you like about under 23 games. You don't get that sort of intensity there, do you?
I'm pretty sure they played yesterday as well. The under 23. I don't know if you've seen that.
They played against
Villa,
yeah. But we're in this trophy as well.
Yeah, Checker-Trade Trophy.
Yeah, was it Premier League 2 or something?
That was Premier League 2, yeah. Checker-Trade Trophy.
That starts this week, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think we've got Burton Albion, Walsall. I can't remember who the other team is in our group, but again, it's good experience for these lads. Yeah. And just the other quick chat on the other goal score we didn't mention about outgoings. Marvin Johnson scored in what was his last goal for us at the moment. I mean, he has gone out on loan to Sheffield United at the moment.
Yeah.
Do you think possibly the problem for Johnson was, I know Gary Monk brought him in, he just seemed to lack a little bit of consistency when he played for us.
So I like him, mate. You know, I like Johnson, but maybe he just wasn't getting the game time. And again, you know, you can't take anyone out of the team to, for Johnson to walk into. Stuart Downer could not be replaced by him. George Friend, I know he could drop in at left back. You know, in the cup games he was good, left side, but again, he was against League 2, League 1 opposition. Up against Championship, I've seen him once, I think, last season, didn't we, properly, and that was against Bolton. And that was the only game realistically we've seen.
That was his debut, he came on and scored.
And obviously, you know...
I think Marvin Johnson had bought into Pulis's philosophy, because from the Spennymoor game to the game against Rochdale the other night, I think his commitment and his everything, you know, I was surprised he left, really, because he's put a shift in. I don't care what level of football it was. He put a shift in every time he put the Butter shirt on. And obviously he got rewarded with his goal the other night. And
like you said there, it's a sign of a professional there that he'll have known that was probably going to be his last game for us.
And he was absolutely outstanding.
He put a lot for me.
Yeah, he put in the cross for Hugill as well for the goal. And like you say, he's playing in a position that might not have been totally familiar with.
He was very vocal.
Yeah.
You could see him
helping the younger lads.
At that Rochdale game, he was very vocal.
I am a bit pleased that Fletcher stayed, if I'm honest.
Yes, no, that was another one that was touted as possibly a move out to like Hull or Sheffield United.
Yeah, brought down the Hull, didn't it? Yeah, later on.
So you think he's got a future, definitely?
I like him, mate, Fletcher. I do. I do like him a lot. You know, and again, seeing him in the cup game, I think he's a decent player. Again, is he gonna get in the first team ahead of the likes of obviously that's if Braithwaite's still on the bench, Hugill? Maybe he's not. He's gonna be behind them. But again, no. You know, see if he catches his eye in training. You never know, but I think again, great competition for Zambalonga to keep up performances.
A great option off the bench, isn't it, to bring someone like him on? Yeah.
You know, he's young, he's hungry.
Big lad as well, big strong lad as well. You know, top. So you never know.
So I was sad to see Mimotovic go to Yeovil.
Yeah.
But then on the plus side of that is Lewis Wing went there last season and he's come
great
back.
Point.
He's come back an absolutely fantastic footballer.
Yeah.
But that Mimotovic. He looks like he's played centre half since he was 2-year-old.
Yeah, he'll certainly
he was fantastic.
Yeah, he'll definitely learn a lot in League 2, won't he, a season playing at that level.
Yeah.
So just before we move on from the Rochdale game, we wrap the show up tonight. Preston away in the next round. Obviously, quite a few of the young lads have now gone out on loan, like you mentioned. What sort of team do you think we'll have out for that game?
I think, obviously, I think you still have the likes of Spence in there. Maybe he's would ever get his game.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to have to bring in a left back now, so who knows, it could be another. Well, mind you, we've got obviously,
Yeah, McQueen. Yeah.
I think it'll still be fairly much kids, but, I feel. Someone like Fletcher might play, Hugill might play, if Braithwaite's still sat there, you might give him a run out. Ledboot's still there. So I think, it's still sort of the similar youth team that we've seen, but. Again, if Leeds would have been Leeds in the cup game.
Yes, it could have been Leeds.
But listen, it's happy days against Preston. I think good opposition for that round of the cup as well. I think especially for the younger players as well. So I'm happy with that draw.
Yeah.
You've got the next, like you say, Preston the next round. If you get through that, you're going in.
Start thinking.
Then, you're not far off Wembley.
Yeah.
Get through the next round.
Is that going to be a distraction if we beat them?
You've got to look at what's happened to Bristol and other teams in the past. Do you know what I mean?
Point last season,
what as a manager, what do you do? It's your CV. It's your, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you take a dive to just go for a promotion? You know what I mean? You don't know what goes on in that manager's office.
Of course.
But I don't believe there's not one manager in the Football League who thinks, right, I'm going to throw this.
And like you said before, that trophy gave us our best day ever as Borough fans,
That's our most successful day.
You know
what I mean? No matter what Steve McLaren's doing
and then get promoted.
No matter what McLaren's doing at QPR or what he's done at Derby or in Holland, he's still Middlesbrough's most successful manager. It's not Lenny Lawrence like Foxy thinks. it's Steve McLaren. I'm sorry.
Yeah. And I think we've got to, before we move on and we just finish the show, I think we've got to say it'd be remiss of us not to mention it. A big congratulations to Newcastle United, because I mean, for a club that size to now go after their defeat of Forest last week, 50 years without winning a trophy, that's some achievement, that, isn't it? I
Fantastic.
mean, that's immense. That's
boys.
It took some doing.
It is. That's amazing. One of the biggest clubs in the world to go 50 years without winning anything.
And they've passed it with flying colours.
Yeah, I was devastated.
I could be more proud of the football club.
They've had some of the biggest names in football, and you've still managed not to do it. But it's unreal how you've done it.
These are the next 50 lads. Well done.
But you can keep the blueprint. You can keep the blueprint. It's yours. I don't think there's another club in the country who wants to follow it.
Well, thanks for watching us again this week, Borough fans. Enjoyed the show. Next week, we're going to do a review of the season so far and the Championship as a whole. So not just on the Borough, looking at all the teams in the Championship. We'll talk about the England game against Spain in the League of Nations next week, which takes place on Saturday, and we'll also preview the Norwich game, which comes up at the following weekend. As I say, from myself, Guesty, AJ, Rob on camera, thanks for watching. Till next week, up the Borough.
Up the Borough.
Up the Borough.